right-hand side in the red, this is GogojOey. Playing for Johnsons.
Yeah. And his opponent down here in the bottom left from Good Game Gaming. This is Nice. And Nice has been on Good Game Gaming for a little bit now, but Juggernauts must be brand new for GogojOey because he wasn't on that team last season, I don't believe.
Yeah, I think it is a new pickup. See exactly what Joey can do with that one. Once again, I love having the cameras. It reminds me of how wide Joey's stance is. What his stance is, his arms, his keyboard and mouse. He has like a real spread. You can see on his shoulders where they're very far apart. So I wonder if his keyboard is even facing on an angle away from him or something like that. On the left, and yeah, keyboard, because he's definitely got an interesting. Whereas Nice as a more standard, his shoulders just kind of hang onto the sides, kind of the Korean way and everything. Your hands just hang free. Your hands kind of hover over the mouse and keyboard, and you kind of just play that way.
Yeah. I'm definitely more of a GogojOey stance myself. I wonder if we get to interview him, I wonder if we can get him to show us his keyboard setup, keyboard and mouse setup. So. Yeah.
I mean, Maynard got Haas to give us the tour of his posters and different stuffed toys and stuff last time. So maybe Joey will be nice enough to do the same. I'm always curious. Like, I always see like a Marine Lord type setup, and I'm just like, what am I looking at right now? Like where the keyboard, the mouse is behind the keyboard, and the keyboard is literally completely side on. Like it's facing the side of his table. So his hand is like, elbow is sticking out on a right angle. And so there's a few players from other games who play the same. Anyway, so far this probe looking for the block being a bit of a nuisance. But that does mean that probe will go down. Wants to buy time for the adept to get here. It's not going to work out for Nice. I don't think this is super worth it.
Not quite, unless he's super quick. Oh,
okay. Maybe it's worth it. Maybe it's worth it. I was like, there is no way that gets down. But the second pylon buys time for it. I think Joey should have sicked 2 of the Zerglings on that probe from the start when he saw it was hanging around. But in the end, it's a 25-second delay or so. But it does create a bit of a distraction. 6 more Lings on the way. Joey's got a queen there. Extra Lings about to pop, but most of them popping from the third base.
Yeah, a little bit annoying. These adepts are always so slippery early on, and Lings are kind of just not enough because they die so fast to a couple of adepts. So he's going to have to dance around and try and minimize the damage that he takes as these drones just get one shot by the adepts, and now he's got to lose some mining time on top of having his hatchery delayed. Super annoying for GogojOey, but a really great start for Nice.
Oh, 1 hit point.
You're kidding.
He's like, I'm out of here, fam. See ya. Oh, Lord. All right. Yeah, I wonder if he bothers recalling that or keeping her alive. Oracles are now on the way behind this. Nice has some pretty brutal Adept Oracle pressure, but got so excited doing a surprising amount of damage to Joey that Nice gets supply blocked. So forces some mistakes and some damage out of Joey, but at the same time makes a small mistake. That being said, this is like Neeb-esque. This is like old school Neeb style. It's here's an Adept, here's another Adept, here's 2 more Adepts, here's an Oracle, here's another Oracle. This is going to be just non-stop waves of pressure. This is very difficult to defend, but it's a big commitment from Nice.
Already racking up some more drone kills and getting some more lost mining time here as he harasses the third base. Oracle dips in and dips out as that queen starts moving forward. Nothing at the natural here to target, so he's going to have to swing around into the main where there is already a spore and queen, so got to be a little bit wary of where that Oracle gets positioned. Oh, yeah, okay. Fair enough. Fair call.
Ouchie.
Oh, nice. Very well done.
Never as bad as losing the drones, but it is still damage. Delayed income there. The Adepts come in. Oh, and this is getting out of hand. Nice is so good at doing this. He's in every mineral line right now. Every single base has an Oracle or Adepts in it. This is crazy.
It's a bit of a but wait, there's more kind of moment. Second Oracle's now here. The spore will get up here in the natural. And it looks like finally GogojOey will be left some breathing room, but 12 workers went down just then. He's lost a fair bit. Like, his working count is not at all where he wants it to be.
Is there a gateway building in the third of Joey? The fourth base, sorry?
I think you might be right. Maybe he's just going for it.
Oh, the thing is, he doesn't have glaive, so it's just going to be random adepts swapped in there, I think. Or is that just oracles sitting up there to the top left?
Oh, we'll soon find out.
Oh, it's just oracles. They moved.
Okay.
Gateways can't move. Never mind. I'm blind and my my preview is a little pixely.
No,
it is what it is.
It's hard to make out from the feed.
Oh, the oracles are going in for a bit of a dive right now, so we'll see what they can find. They do get more oracles already. Oh my god.
Who does this? No one makes 4 oracles. All right, well, he's going to keep making them too, and he's got double robo coming up behind this. The adepts are coming in for what, round 4, round 5?
Joey wants
I'm sure
to
he'll
walk.
find some more damage.
Joey wants to walk as well. Those queens are going to get going. That's good creep spread, right? So when Joey deflects these adepts, Joey's moving out. Joey's going. Joey's not even going to wait. Joey's just going to go. Roachling can defend this pretty easily, these adepts. Queens are going. And Nice has done, I've seen him do this build order a lot over the past year. He always mixes it into a series once or twice, and he does not have a lot of units. His 2 robos just finished. He's like, I have a handful of adepts, some oracles, and can you give me a minute to get cannons and batteries, please? Because right now I have nothing. Nice does not have a lot of units at home. He's just started his first immortal producing. Queens have got to be micro. Joey can't just be A-moving those. They're chasing the oracles right now. There we go. Gets him back on track. Sentries and adepts, not very good units. Oh, he doesn't want to. Oh, look at that stasis. But 3 Zergling set it off. Well done by Joey. Joey relentlessly pushing forwards. He doesn't want to let Nice get those immortals and batteries up.
Ooh. All right, Biles canceled the extra one building there at the front lines there. The battery overcharge has gone down. He's trying to target down as many of these Ravagers as possible with this Oracle squad. The Queens are doing their best against them and they're getting quite bruised. Without the shield battery, they are going to start dropping like flies, though. It's mostly Queen Ravager left and Immortal here on the front lines as well, trying to join in the fun. Ravager herd is getting pretty thin here. A couple of Zealots helping out as well. And it looks like Nice may be holding, but here come the reinforcing Lings.
There's not much production, remember, for Nice. And as the Lings come in, they say, well, you don't have battery overcharge. Your batteries are dry. Where's your power without your batteries, mate? And Joey's still got a lot of queens. 2 Ravagers is making a lair and starting a drone behind it. So Joey's realizing he's not going to win the game with this. If he can kill the third, it's huge. If he can't kill the third, it's still a bit of a dicey situation for Joey. 19 probes, 20 probes have gone down. Those 3 immortals, very difficult to kill. He might want to start focusing that Nexus down. Battery overcharge might be able to be used again, but the File's hitting that battery and the Nexus as well. Oof.
Yeah, 4 Immortals out at this point. There's still 3 Oracles left. They're trying to help where possible, but they're getting so low. But yeah, the double robo, man, is just so insane. He goes from 1 Immortal to like 5 in no time at all. And now he's picking his tech back up where he left off. He's looking towards charge and +1 and already back on that probe production to resaturate that base. So pretty good hold from Nice. Did lose a bit, but he's still kicking.
Is Joey planning round 2? Joey rebuilt so many queens here. And I mean, there's a few oracles alive, but there's not that many anymore, right? And there's like, it's still mass queens. Oh, Joey, someone's a dark fan. Actually, I think I feel like, yeah, this is super dark stuff. So he's going to drop the Spire here, but he's definitely just planning to go again with Roach Ravager Queen. So he's taking the 4th. He's like, yeah, I'm doing normal things. I'm making an upgrade as well. But I mean, I do not see Joey building anything other than Mutas, maybe Corruptors, but no reason to in this scenario. Basically, Mutas, Roaches, and Queens for the rest of this game, because he's not really got the setup to go for the super long game. As I say that, he drops the Spine and queues up 3 more drones, which is a little surprising. That Spire did get spotted.
Yeah. Good scouting from Nice here, keeping tabs, and he dropped the Oracle Vision there on the squad of Queens that was hanging out at that 3rd base too. And he himself is coming in now with an Overseer just to scout what the follow-up is for Nice. And he's got, with the creep spread that he's managed to push through the middle here, trying to just reclaim some territory and stay mobile here as he moves towards that Spire, which is just now finishing up big round of drones coming in too, and finally finishing up that roach speed. So if he does want to be aggressive, then he's got a little bit more mobility than he had before. But I gotta say, I like how Joey's playing it, you know, keeping in Nice's face where possible.
Yeah, I like the opening. I'm not sure how I feel about that last round of drones, though, for Joey, because it feels like he's giving a lot of time to Nice now, who's starting Phoenix after seeing that Spire is now completed, is trying to get some cannons and batteries. I mean, there's not much stuff that shoots up, and 17 mutas is a big number of mutas, and he actually only built 1 Phoenix and then back to Void Rays.
What?
Oh my god, are these mutas actually... I think... This is that thing where you're like, well, I've seen the Spire literally twice. I mean, obviously, you would assume I've got, like, Phoenix and cannons. There's 8 cannon in the main. Maybe 1 battery, maybe 1 Phoenix.
No.
These mutas could be massive.
He's still gearing up to go air, too, because he's still getting all the equipment for it and the air upgrades. But like you said, he stopped at 1 Void Ray. You need a little more than that, and he's desperately warping in Stalkers here. Doesn't have Blink, losing the Templar Archives, and if he's not careful, he could lose the Forge as well. The mutas getting a little bit hot for them here in the base. They are starting to take a fair few shots. He is thinning the flock a little bit, but is he winning this? I feel like he's not winning this.
So Nice. Yeah, no. Stayed a bit too long there with those mutas, and now that the Phoenix are building 2 at a time, you do want to chill. And if you're coming with the Roach attack behind this, you could actually set off all the barriers there and just go on the front with just mass Roach, right? Because it's so good if you could set off every barrier, right? The thing is, it is still 9 Immortals with batteries. And Joey, what is the composition? It's mutas into more mutas. Okay, so it looks like Joey's going to play mass air. To do that, he needs to take 10 gases right now. So he's got to take the double gas on the 5th base, and he's got to keep trading with the mutas. And also, he needs to already be in Corruptor production, but he's only building mutas right now. So it looks like he wants to go for an attack, but the army supply very powerful here for Nice, and most importantly, the quality of that army is so much better.
Really nice stasis traps on the front lines here. That saves him the +1 so far. He might want to just stay parked there so that doesn't get taken out as those stasis traps wear off. But yeah, that is actually an obscene amount of Immortals, and now that he's getting more and more Phoenixes in the mix, it's not going to be quite so easy for GogojOey to just dip in and take stuff out like he did in that initial hit. Templar Archives finally being rebuilt now as well. Maybe a little bit difficult for Nice to get a 4th base because that'll stretch him a little bit more thin. But as it stands, the Phoenix is ready.
This is a disaster. Honestly, those Phoenix can hunt down the mutas. You need to add Corruptors in here, and you need to go high for like Vipers or something like this in this scenario as the Phoenix mass. But right now, just being on pure muta, I mean, compositionally, that's not very good for Nice. The Roach Sling as well isn't really going to do too much here. Maybe pick off an Immortal or 2. I mean, what's he actually killing? 1 Immortal, 1 Stalker
himself.
For that whole army? Yeah. He's got so much money, though. Joey's got so much money. Now he's adding the Corruptors. The problem is he's losing momentum. He needs to be trading these air units constantly. You've got to keep the Protoss down. Nice is still at such a low supply. We're going from maxed out versus 120 Protoss. Now Nice is at 150 supply. He's getting a 4th base up. You've got to keep trading as Joey. The Muta Corruptor needs to be hitting. It needs to be hitting hard, and constantly Archons are being added in. You can't fight over Archons with Muta Corruptor. And it's another Queen walk, but Queen Zergling? 15 minutes into the game?
All right. Well, we're rolling with it.
I mean, it's wasted supply if you leave it at home, so I guess it makes sense, right? You've kind of got to get rid of those units so you can make more army.
I guess so, but is it going to work? There's only 1 Archon here, and it does get taken out. This is mostly Immortals. Where the Phoenixes hit, they come in from the left, and he's going to start targeting this down. As we can see, those Corruptors are helping out a lot. Saves the mutas from getting absolutely shredded. But even so, does he have enough to keep pushing through here? The Queens haven't actually joined the fight yet, just now coming up the ramp, but there's so many Immortals here.
The transfuses on the Corruptors mean they can fight the Phoenix head on. And then as long as the Corruptors sit in front of the mutas, the mutas can take down the Immortals. So I'd like to see those Corruptors run forwards and just kind of A-move the Phoenix a little bit and let those Queens blanket them and transfuse. But notice the mutas, anytime they're in front of the Corruptors, the Phoenix are auto-attacking them and just gunning them down. The Phoenix obliterate them. These Queens very tanky, but they're not big damage dealers on their own. The mutas will take out the 4th base. 10 probes have gone down. Nice is in a dire situation economically. I do think this Muta Corruptor will eventually overwhelm. The mutas need to get out of there, though. Uh-oh.
Ooh, they're coming in to try and fight against those Phoenixes, but they're going to get absolutely torn apart. The air army for Nice is just so strong. And he's hunting down a fair few of these. He's actually marching across with those Immortals as well. And Joey's army, man, he's lost a lot of meters at this point. I don't even want to know how many. But Nice is still kicking. It looks like he's trying to get that base again. 36 meters, goodness gracious. But it's not like Nice has gone untouched either.
Yeah, that's a lot of expensive Protoss units that have gone down as well. Not in the same numbers as the Zerg, but being on 3 base this long, trying desperately to take a 4th base now, definitely not the ideal position to be in. Now, interestingly, there's +2 flyer attack for Joey. Armor is actually way more important for Corruptors against Phoenix because their job is to tank. So he was trying to get the critical damage out with the Mutas, help them kill the ground units, do damage. But it does mean these Corruptors are quite weak to the +1 Phoenix at this point. So right now, the Phoenix definitely controlling, allowing Nice to build a 4th. Nice doesn't really need to probe up either because his bases are so oversaturated. He just needs to...
Unreal. He's getting so much value from this Phoenix harassment.
It's actually wild, yeah. Infestation Pit's on the way, though, so Joey's not going to just sit there on layer tech. Thank the Zerg Lord. That is so important. Because, yeah, I mean, Mass Phoenix gets hard countered by Parasitic Bomb. Fungal, very good against it as well. If you lock them in place, they just die to Corruptors, right? So right now, you want to see both players trying to stack their units, because whoever stacks means all their guys can shoot at once, whether it's Corruptors or Phoenix. These Phoenix right now are in such numbers that the Corruptors are too afraid to engage.
Yeah. What's kind of rough for Joey as well is that he's been supply blocked a couple of times now from this Phoenix harassment, on top of just losing the odd muta, maybe a queen here and there. So Nice is doing a great job of being a huge nuisance and just pulling this air army around while he builds up at home. He's still making Phoenixes. He's getting the +2 air weapons in there as well and adding on a little bit more gas. And let's see if he catches on that the hive is just around the corner. Surely he knows that that's the next step anyway.
Yeah, it is now on the way. 7 Overlords building. GogojOey going for a laser of Overlords because he's at 190 supply. 7 Overlords. 8! He adds an 8th. He says, no. Miko wouldn't be proud. We've got to make sure you go up to 280 supply. That's the way to do it. Queens here are going to get taken out a little bit. 1 or 2 Phoenix going down, though, so not the end of the world losing a few Queens. I think GogojOey, his position now, it seems to have dissipated a little bit. This is so common for him to find himself in a great position in these games, but his ability to finish off a guy like Nice, who just will not sit still, constantly backstabbing, trying to use that tech advantage, so difficult. A bunch of these Phoenix rallying in and getting caught, not before 10 drones do go down. And personally, I'd like to see just continued air upgrades, spellcasters and ultras.
Oh no,
Phoenix
these
can't pick up
ravages.
ultras. Actually, there's still a lot of Immortals in the ground, so Ultras is probably a terrible idea.
Yeah, maybe not the best move just yet. If he gets a good hit on those, he might finally be able to think about something like that. But yeah, those Immortals have been fantastic for Nice in this game. There's the Ultra Den.
Oh no. No, don't do it, Joey. Remember, the Immortals are still alive. Don't be silly like me. That was my first instinct as well, but I don't think it's the right call with that many Immortals out.
Oh no. I
He's
don't
building
blame
roaches as well. We don't want roaches. No way. Roaches are way too supply inefficient for this late stage, I think. Banelings are really good against this army. Just clear the Zealots out, set off some immortal barriers, that sort of thing. Right now, though, the air army, I mean, how do you deal with Phoenix Archon? You can't. I think Joey's army is just too much weaker. Nice here says, you know what? You can't deal with an Archon Phoenix mass. The Immortals in the back just adding a bit of damage as well. And the Corruptors try to engage, but look at the Archon splash.
Oh, this is absolute carnage for the Zerg army, and GogojOey runs out of steam there. Nice. Takes the win almost 20 minutes into that Jagannatha game. We definitely got a bit of value for money there. It's one of the longer matches we've had tonight.
Indeed. And what an interesting situation. The Remax on Queens coming across the map, and I was like, what? Round 2 of Queen Ravager, but it was like, no, it's Queen Zergling Muta Corruptor. I was like, I have not seen this one before. Some really interesting scenarios there, but it did feel like I think the Corruptors were a little bit too slow to the party. That was the sort of game I think Joey was so close to just piling on the pressure and overwhelming Nice at many points. But Anais just managed to stitch it together and really play hero Protoss, where he's like, okay, I have a few Immortals barely hanging on against an absolute swarm of Zerg. Okay, I have a few Phoenix barely hanging on against the Mutas. And he just managed to survive enough of those situations and suddenly said, hey, check it out. Big ball of Immortals left over, Phoenix left over to deal with the Muta Corruptor and the Archons and the Zealots as well. And the Zerg got caught with no clear compositional answer. Getting from that Muta Corruptor into a different army, incredibly difficult. It's an army where once you go Muta Corruptor, you're usually committed to that, and you've got to absolutely cripple the opponent or win the game, because swapping into Broodlords is so difficult.
Yeah, a real rough one, but honestly, it did give me faith in GogojOey. I know you picked him, and I was like, really? But he looks good. He had his moments, and that game was within his grasp, just sort of fumbled it a little bit. So hey, he can absolutely still bring it back. We'll find out if he can, though, after a quick break, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back. It is possibly our last game of the night, but I hope not. As we continue our PvZ theme here, Nice has gone 1-0 up against GogojOey in the first map, Jagannatha. And we'll be hopping into map number 2 very shortly.
I believe there's been some action, though, some updates from the other match that was going on in the B stream, Zaf?
Yeah, I heard that there was like a weird result there. Not sure what that's all about, but I don't know. I don't think I can explain it to you guys what happened on the B stream. If you weren't already watching, you missed out. So go check the VOD because that's what we're going to be doing after this cast.
Yeah, we may have already just been skimming through very quickly in the break there. ESL_SC2B, go back like 20 minutes in the video because you guys missed a barn burner. Let's, how do we summarize? Tempests and also building shield batteries outside Zerg's third base to try and heal said Tempests, and also trying to build cannons outside the Zerg's base 6 minutes into the game. Just but always things and just Mystery Man things. It just looked like an absolute amazing, beautiful hot mess over there. And, you know, a bit of a surprise as well in the result with Mystery Man winning.
Yeah.
So definitely he's going to be facing the winner of this match here. 1 game away from getting that 2-0. This is nice. Playing for good game gaming.
And over here in the bottom left, he is in the red, and he is from Juggernauts. This is GogojOey.
Are we going to go down to that third? Due to Nice, of course, blocking the expansion nice and early. And yeah, this is something that he likes to do, just disrupt the Zerg, force him to take that third base and be in a little bit more of an uncomfortable situation. Now, that last game, really such a good position he built himself into, Joey. And remember how much damage there was in the early game? I think about 20 workers in the first 5 minutes had died.
Obscene amount.
But Joey was re-droning the whole time. Like, he was so good at recovering from it. So he did not miss a beat. He's been thrown into some dicey situations before, and he just kept rolling with it.
Yeah, I gotta echo what you said earlier about GogojOey looking better and better each time, much like Rex. I think he really proved that in the last one. We can see that there's, you know, some fine-tuning there, some not so great decision making, but, you know, everybody has those moments. I don't think we can pick on him too hard for that. But he's certainly looking scary. We're sitting here going, oh, you don't really want to play nice in the late game, and that's exactly what he just tried to do. So clearly he's got enough skill in that area that he feels like, nah, actually I can take it there and I can win. The last one just didn't go his way, so very keen to see how this one's going to pan out. Again, he's taken a different natural due to probe shenanigans.
Definitely think Joey's good at putting himself in a great position and absorbing the early game damage, but there is a thing with decisiveness. When someone's a very, very solid player against you and has a good win rate, Protoss players especially sometimes have this aura of invulnerability at certain points in the game, and I do think just a bit more commitment with those corruptors. Normally it's like, hey, the first 17 meters, they did a good amount of damage. Maybe they could have bounced around the bases a little bit more once the battery started healing in the main, but I think there was another 10 mutas built before any corruptors, and it was also a big delay on Joey taking the gases on the 5th base. And I think of like Fly, because he's one of the best players at just carrying that momentum forwards when he's got a bit of an advantage in that scenario. And the speed I see with him, just add corruptors, start fighting the Phoenix while they're in small numbers, and then anytime you push the Phoenix back, the mutas are killing other things, right? So they have to keep fighting you. And if they're just doubling down on Phoenix production, you just double down on corruptors and you never let your mutas die. And it just forces them to fight you. And corruptors do really well if you stack them up and you start one-shotting the Phoenix. So you can hit some really nice critical masses there. So I'd love to see Joey try that style again if he finds some muta damage. Just, you know, get the gases up on the 5th base a little quicker, add the Corruptors a bit faster if he's facing Phoenix reaction, and maybe just overwhelmed, because he did a lot of things very well that game. And remember, it all started off with a Queen Walk as well. Actually.
Yeah.
So it was Queen Walk, then Mutas, then Muta Corruptor, then another Queen Walk. Like, wow, that game was, yeah, lots of action.
Yeah, that's pretty on brand for GogojOey from what I've seen so far. Queen walking is like the name of the game. But nice, he's sticking with the old faithful here as well. He always opens Stargate, as many Protosses do, and he's decided to go, yep, Oracles, they seem to do some good work for me last game. I'm going to stick with that again. He is going to follow up with a Void Ray, but we'll see how much he commits to the air from here if he's going to go for it again.
Oracle's still looking for damage. This is a much better opening for Joey so far. A few more Adepts. Void Ray will clean up the Overlord. Oracles are looking for a dive on the natural. Spore is up. They're going to grab at least 1 or 2 drones, but taking some heavy damage at the same time.
5 workers so far. He's looking for some extras, but there's enough. Oh, that Oracle's so low. Yeah, enough defense now that that's looking a little bit dicey.
This is not a super quick third for Nice. So remember that he's not going to be exploding into the mid game the same way a player who has a 4-minute or a 3-minute 50 third base does. 6 Adepts coming around the left. The Watchtower is taken though by Joey. Joey sees it coming. He's building more Zerglings. If he can get out to about 20 Zerglings, get his Queens on top of the Adepts, he might have to run his drones away for a moment, but he should be able to handle this.
See how he
Get
goes.
the drones back. Get those drones out of there.
All right.
Oh, the Adepts are just fighting the Queens. What?
Yeah, well, that actually helped him out a lot there. He might lose a couple of Queens, but hell of a lot better than losing X amount of drones, because you typically get a fair few when the Adepts are in that number. So that was a little bit weird. 6 Adepts just kind of went full A move there.
Same build as last game, and I really don't like this build as something that's too predictable. I don't like that he's doing it every game for Nice, and the reason is he hasn't found the damage this game, so Joey is just ahead. Like, he has crushed it. Yeah, he's a little shaky in the last game, but now you're going double Robo back into Forge and double Stargate, so I'm not sure, is it ground or is it air? And I've seen Nice get caught in this middle zone before, where he basically wants to hard counter whatever the Zerg builds, right? He's like, I can counter the Roaches with Immortals, or I can go Disruptors, or I can go Mass Phoenix versus Mutas. And you see, he's kind of trying to keep every option open. But the problem that we see is Nice regularly has great starts, like in that last game, and then still ends up 70 supply behind in the mid game, barely hanging on for his life, because he just invests in so much production. He's making air upgrades and ground upgrades, and it's like he's made double Robo, but they're just sitting idle in this game. So to me feels like he's prioritizing flexibility, which can be really nice, but sometimes there's something to be said for just being confident and moving in one direction and being way more efficient, because you're not having to invest in so many different tech trees.
Yeah, it's a bit of a jack of all trades, master of none situation. He does scout the Spire again as he comes in with those Oracles, so that's nice to know. And this time we see the Phoenix production come in a little bit earlier. Last time he had a bit of a weird moment where he made 1 Phoenix and was like, that'll do. So he probably lost a little bit more than he needed to right away, but this time he's a bit more prepared and he's actually coming forward with those immediately.
Fleet Beacon and Robo Bay on the way, preparing for the carriers, the disruptors. Nice wants to go straight to late game. Joey's been hanging out on 65 workers for a few minutes now. Obviously losing 7 workers here does kind of slow him down, but Joey's heavy on the Queens, as he tends to be. I wonder how this turns into aggression for Joey. And that's the thing. Joey's great at defense. You need to be good at offense to beat Protoss players. You need to be able to force the fight and trade with them before they get the perfect unit composition up. And that unit composition changes on what you're building. But the thing is, basically, Zerg has the production advantage in this matchup. Protoss has the tech advantage. If you give them enough time, they tend to have the better pieces. Until you get to a very technical endgame scenario with lots of spellcasters, where it's arguably, depending on the player, it just really comes down to control. It really depends which player is playing to see who wins. But Joey builds a lot of roach laying, a lot of queens every game. He's still making queens, and he's going high of second evo. It looks like he's going late game, but I've got to wonder what that late game is if it involves queens and roaches. Because don't get me wrong, Dark is maybe the best Zerg in the world, at least top 3 right now. And he does this all the time. Sees air, masses, queens, and roaches. I don't know if this is a surprise to you, Zeph. Roaches don't shoot up. Did you know that?
What? Oh
I
my
know.
god.
Isn't it crazy?
Seriously?
And yet Zergs keep making roaches for SkyToss players. Dark somehow makes it work.
He's
But even
brainwashed
then,
him.
it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, it's it feels like one of those things that falls into the category of you have to be dark for it to work. Everyone else probably shouldn't try and emulate it, but we'll see what happens, I guess. I mean, he must be confident in it if he's choosing
Indeed.
to do that.
I mean, the Queen style is really good as well, right? We've seen Queen and Great Aspire, Broodlord, Infester. It's a good style. So, I mean, definitely not counting Joey out. I think he just wants a handful of roaches in case there is a ground army, but I don't want to see like 10 Ravagers in the army at max. You know, there's so supply heavy roaches and Ravagers. So as Joey maxes, definitely wants to trade those out for more efficient units.
Yeah. Well, he's not going too ham on it. Already we're seeing a bit more development in the tech than we did last time because we're seeing those Vipers come in. Great Aspire's halfway done. He's getting the upgrade for the Infestors. So he's going to have more options and those all-important spellcasters because we are seeing that transition to carriers here for Nice, and that's where things get sticky. That's where it's definitely nice to have a surplus of queens because you've got not only the transfuse but the added damage in your army, if you will. So this should round out to be a nicer composition than what he got stuck with last game. But he's still going to try and use these small groups of ground units by the looks of it to try and maybe harass, do some backstabbing while this air army moves out.
There's a second one behind that. Uh-oh. Stasis Trap's being a bit of a pain to deal with here. And Zealot's warping in to try and hold the door. Oracles are out of energy, so those roaches will be able to breach.
They are going to slide on in here. Those lings are preserved for later, and that actually depowers the stuff at the front here. That delays the upgrade.
Oh, that would have actually been the money, actually. This is one of those things against SkyToss players. It's the one time where killing the Cybercore in the wall was actually so valuable. If he stopped +2, that would have been huge. Oh,
okay.
The air is turned around for a second. Still gets some probes and gets rid of the roaches, more importantly, right? Which is what we were calling for before that. I kept seeing extra roaches in the production tab, and I was like, ugh, no thanks. But now Broodlords are morphing. So the trick here is you need to defend the queens from the disruptors. So that's what the Broodlord's job is. And then you've got Vipers. I don't know how many Infestors are out just yet. Maybe we could check in on the units tab at some point in the near future. Yeah, it looks like no Infestors, only a couple Broods. I also don't feel like there's that many spores just yet. So it's still a vulnerable moment, right? Lots of spores being added. But whenever the Protoss pushes in, especially if you're not quite ready to fight, they can, with carriers, just kill like 6 or 8, 10 spores so quickly. And then suddenly they can just overwhelm you if you don't quite have all the pieces. The Zerg's a little bit more fragile in this stage, especially because Nice hasn't added Storm. Hasn't really invested that much in his ground play just yet. And thankfully, learning his lesson from the weekend match against Solar. He is remembering his upgrades at a very steady pace, adding tons of extra Stargates as well as Tectonic destabilizes.
I think you heard you there. There's the Templar archives coming in as well, just to round out that composition. Plus those billion Stargates that you mentioned. So we're truly at the point now where it's that standoff. Trying to poke in, do some damage. The Zerg doesn't really want to engage, but they got to find the right moment. Maybe they start abducting some stuff to try and make this a little bit more digestible. We do have the -400 mothership in the mix now as well. So yeah, that is definitely a SkyToss army that we're going to be dealing with. Infestors coming into the mix as well. So this is the point where for the Zerg, it's like, how well can you juggle your spellcasters? Because he's got the queens, he's got Infestors, he's got Vipers. A lot to work with.
And it's interesting how the players are splitting the map left to right. I feel like I never see that happen yet. For these guys, they're doing it like it's the most natural thing in the world, where it's apparently in this region. Yeah, it's like, hey, no, you don't take the normal third base. That's the untakeable base in the very top and bottom of the map. I'm like, isn't that the normal third? They're just like, no, you don't do that. Personally, I'm hoping for the Zest maneuver. So Zest, a guy who's kind of infamous for not having the best late game play. But boy, is he good at killing you with the Skytoss army despite it, because he's really good at attacking on one side of the map while his mothership sneaks in along the other edge of the map and he recalls into the main. And Zest does this all the time. And I've seen more and more players starting to pick it up and throw it out there as a way of kind of breaking the position, because Broodlords, Infestors, Vipers, it's such a slow army for the Zerg. It kind of like waddles around the map. So the Protoss can kind of actually play this as the more mobile player once you hit this stage.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the most difficult parts of having the Broodlords. It does sometimes feel like whenever you want to use them, because it takes them so long to bloody get there, the usefulness is limited by the time that they're actually in action, because the Protoss army's sort of gone around you and found other ways to do some damage and deal with you, hopefully pulling you back home. So nice use of the changelings there for GogojOey, just to sort of get a bit of vision in, and he's using it to set up a bit of a pathway for these Banes. Oh, nice. He's on the ball, man.
That would have been like the funniest thing. It's like, it's always the 15-minute 7 slow banelings waddling into a mineral line. That's always the one that gets your economy.
Yeah, well, I think he's going to keep doing that, so we may see that happen yet. Bane speed's not quite finished, but he has walked a few more. Oh, nice. Does he finish it off? Yes, he does. Oh, but he loses the Viper. Gets the mothership.
Minus 400, 400! Yeah, well done. Nice had the Watchtower, so a little slow to move his High Templar forward. Felt like he just kind of grabbed his army and he moved it for a second there. Oh, how did they not hit those bottom 2 High Templar? I'm amazed. Yes, they died too quickly, but that's super cute. Trying to get Banelings onto High Templar underneath an army with that much Skytoss above it, that's very hard to pull off.
Oh, look at that. It's not something you see every day.
Oh, with this many queens, I think we'll be seeing that many times more in this game.
Yeah, we'll need
Bit
it.
of Microbial Shroud. For those who don't know, this is one of the rarer abilities we've seen a bit more in the last year. Big area effect reduces air damage, so air to ground damage by 50%. Huge damage reduction on the carriers, Void Rays, and all the rest. And the Broodlord's starting to siege this position, knock down the batteries. As I said earlier, Nice is the kind of guy who'll add Tempests, and his first 3 Tempests are just about to join up with this army. So he actually wants to go for that air transition. He isn't making his second air armor upgrade yet, but he is adding Plasma Shield. So overall, his upgrade's looking pretty darn good. And Joey does want to push him back here.
Ooh, that was pretty hefty fungal.
Yeah.
Can't capitalize on it. Fungal sometimes feel like they don't do anything because they've got so much to chew through. And if you don't get the opportunity to pounce or combo it with the... why am I blanking? What's the Viper ability? I'm thinking Corrosive Bomb. Parasitic Bomb, thank you. My brain is rotting, I apologize. Yeah, if you can't combo it with that, then it's kind of anticlimactic. But yeah, it looks like Nice is continuing to sort of SimCity forward here to try and find a nice way to pressure. With the Tempest, he can certainly start sniping stuff. Looks like Joey trying to come in.
What's that on the top side? Just a little Baneling Ultra run by is coming on in. This is the point in the game where it gets kind of frustrating because you can't break through. So as Joey, you kind of want to commit to like 6 Ultras and 30 Banelings on the top, but you see Mass Cannon Battery, Archon, High Templar, Immortal up there, and you're like, maybe nah. And the Cannon Battery Siege, this is the way to do it as Nice. If you can take these 2 middle bases, 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock, that's a win condition in of itself. And if you just siege him from afar with the Tempests, the super long range unit in this scenario, 10 anti-ground, 15 or 14 actually anti-air range. And those Tempests should be focus firing the Broodlords, but Nice just trying to pull back. 1 or 2 High Templar going down to the Fungal. The Queen's pushing forward.
Using Microbial Shroud to reduce that damage, and he's slowly coming in here. There's still a lot of interceptors left. The Corruptor's not actually that high in number. The Viper's struggling to get in there, and it looks like Nice is actually maybe gaining some ground. It's hard to tell with all the Queens. A couple of Ducks come in, but as I said, those Corruptors don't seem to be targeting a whole lot here. And it looks like the Queen count is just getting thinned out at this point.
I think those Corruptors could just fly over and just shift the Tempests and the carriers at this point. There's no interceptors left. And the Corruptors, I think they're remaxing, right? There should be more Corruptors coming out. There's no damage here for Protoss. Nice. I don't know why Nice is still fighting here. His carriers are empty. His carriers are doing no damage right now. He's bringing charge lots in, but those carriers, he's losing such expensive units. GogojOey turning this fight around. The problem is if he loses all of his Broodlords, which I think most of them are died to the Tempests at this point, and if he has nothing, oh, he's morphing Broodlords in the fight. That's never a good idea.
Well, there's nothing left to kill them. There's 7 Void Rays being produced at a time, 6 or 7. And a bunch of them just pop, so he's going to be able to make short work of the Ultras that are coming out here. But with this ground army that he's made, he's actually gone into Stalker and a couple of Immortals, so he can move forward because the army is mostly Corruptor. He's still got to wait for those Ultras to come out to actually do anything about this.
Yeah, catches a whole bunch of Broodlords morphing and just finished morphing. Super expensive now for Joey. That being said, overall, Joey crushed him in that fight.
Yeah.
In terms of the banks, look at it. Like, Joey absolutely just cleared everything out. The Broodlords were taking all the cannon shots, and even fighting into batteries, he said, hey, I've got Microbial Shroud. And just fighting into that without the disruptors to clear out the queens is always a problem. I really feel in these scenarios where the Zerg's queen heavy, 2 disruptors. You've always got to have 2 disruptors. Try to come in from a surprising angle if you can, or something like that. But if you can get a double disruptor shot on the queens, it clears out so much of that tanky anti-air. Now you've got an interesting kind of change up because it's much more Void Ray heavy than Ice. And those units are really weak versus spellcasters and queens, but they're pretty good versus corruptors. And you've also got Stalkers, which are just a kind of terrible unit in the late game now that the armies have reset. But it's not like Lings and Ultras are exactly the perfect comp either, are they? So both sides have, you know, frantically remaxed on these very imperfect compositions. And now it's like, hey, can I get value out of these units? Can I trade them and get damage and then replace them with better units? Because if one player can do that, they're going to find themselves in a good position. Hey, Void Rays, they're definitely good at that.
Going to try and move into the natural here. There is a fair bit of static D, and the Lings are just kind of wasting themselves trying to take down these cannons. The Void Rays have arrived, and they're going to zap down these Ultras, but the Corruptor buddies have come in with some Viper Pals.
Oh, big parasitic bombs go down on the Void Rays. They take massive damage, and now when they split against the parasitic bomb, that's when the Corruptors turn to fight. This is allowing the Ultras to do a fair bit of damage here. The Void Rays look like they've already used their prismatic alignment. So many going down. They have 7 more Void Rays building, 11 more Corruptors building. I mean, I think this is good for GogojOey, right? This is just such a good trade. You just got to be wary of making mass Corruptor and not having spellcasters with them. So as long as Joey replaces the Vipers and Infestors, I think forcing mass Void Ray is great.
Nice. Very reluctant to move the rest of his forces up there to actually help deal with that. Probably doesn't care about the natural because there's not really anything to be gained there at the moment, but didn't want to lose that position on the bottom right. These Ultras and Lings are a little bit difficult to clean up though without the extra units. Maybe once those next 3 carriers pop, he'll be able to park them over, but it looks like he's still very focused on this bottom right hand side and maintaining the force there. Let's see what he does with these Stalkers though. He's kind of moving forward, trying to clear some stuff up.
Yep, Stalker's going to pick off some Spore Crawlers here. Going to try and pull on back. Then Ultra going to clear that up, but this is not going to get cost efficient over time for Joey, right? Stalkers can always fall back to batteries. Air units can come in on these trades. And the bank looking a lot better for Nice right now, especially in terms of the minerals. And Nice has a much bigger work account, so I think he's just mining more. Losing this base in the top was kind of a bummer for Joey. Oh, he's got Infestors. He'd love to fungal this. Oh, he misses the fungal. He doesn't... I mean, I say misses. He misses the opportunity to throw it is what I mean there. Ultra's getting sniped. I think definitely adding a lot of Broodlords and trying to get more into that just big, great ground army would be awesome. Still no fungals landing on this top army. I think he's expecting the blink to dodge.
Yeah, he already dodged once with the blink. So perhaps just trying to be cautious and conserve the energy for something that's a little bit more surefire. Actually going for the Neural on the Archon as he comes in with the Ultras and the Link. Storms go off. The Immortal tucking back into that cannon range and the shield battery range to try and take out these Ultras, and it's doing some good work. Does take out the rest of that ground army, and now the Infestors are in danger. There's no friends to help him here. Could also target those Vipers that are swinging across, and he does manage to snipe at least one of them.
Ooh, Stargate's getting sniped in the main base. Oh, 3-3 Adrenal Zerglings. Look at that damage output. Gets a Stargate, gets a little bit of damage, clearing up the natural as well. I mean, Joey doing some nice infrastructure damage. Problem is the bank. That is not progressing very well for Joey. For Nice it is. So Nice is happy to just kind of tread water in this moment and keep trading because he's mining more. And if he gets this bottom base, that's huge. You notice he's taken both gases. Creep is blocking the Nexus right now. But yeah, he's clearly wanting to just take this, mine more of the map, and say, hey, you're going to run out of money before me, Joey, especially if you keep massing Ultra Ling. I feel like definitely going a bit heavier on the Zerglings, just enough to deal with the Stalkers is fine. Probably want to back off this Ultra focus. Too many Ultras definitely can get troublesome.
Broodlord's starting to bear down on this bottom right location. The Corruptor's coming in trying to snipe some stuff. He does get a couple of parasitic bombs off, and looks like Nice is spreading to mitigate that, but a little bit scary to still engage that head on. These Protoss units are very doomed. They have no friends, no backup, and they're stuck in a corner, so he's just going to try and get what he can out of them. I'm not sure any of those Stalkers will be able to escape.
Yeah, 4 Stalkers get out of there to tell the tale, but a lot of units going down. Nice starts up an Immortal, so he wants something to deal with these Ultras, but he doesn't want to build more Robos or anything like that, it seems. And on the bottom side, Broodlord's going to try and pick off an Archon there. It looks like they will get a bit of a surround, but Shield Battery's good units are going to help keep those alive. The Ling Ultra going to hit the main, though, and as I said, there's not much up here right now. And has an Overseer as well. GogojOey's been so good about that. I don't think there's ever been a DT Shrine, though, from Nice. He's not even bothering with it. It's just the preparation there is fantastic.
This one hero model in the best spot ever, but that's the one Robo, and if that goes down, he's not going to be able to make any more of those. Might want to rebuild it in a more secure spot because, oh, hold on, he loses the mothership. There's some nice abductions here from Joey.
Very nice. Gets some armor, drops a parasitic bomb to force the Void Rays to disengage. Joey's been trading really well. If we could see the units lost tab at some point, I'm curious. I have no idea what it looks like at this point. It looks like, yeah, wow. Okay, so about 43,000 there for Protoss, and very similar for Zerg. Zerg has been incredibly cost efficient in this game. Remember that Nice has had a bigger worker count, is mining more. Joey cannot rematch, right? Nice, he's a little low on gas, to be fair. His minerals is high. He might start warping in Zealots and just doing big Zealot run-bys, or like use Zealots to clean up these Zerglings. Anything to defend his main base. If he loses his production, that'll be a bummer. And Joey was saying people want to avoid late game versus Nice. Apparently we lied. Apparently Joey is an absolute beast at this stage of the game.
Yeah, we were quite wrong. Since he's cracked open that natural, it's just free entry to that main base. And he's legit on top of some really important infrastructure here. These Zealots can't even get through. I mean, they're being very cost efficient, but he actually does need to save these Stargates at the very least, and hopefully the Templar Archives. That's stuff you don't really want to lose. But yeah, I'm with you on the Zealot idea. Like, imagine if he throws some of them up towards the top left, because the Zerg presence just isn't there. It's all Ling. And with the Broodlord army, as you've pointed out, it's too slow to be waltzing around the map trying to clean up Zealot run-bys and stuff. So if you can keep denying these bases and maybe start getting into some of those other ones that are set up, that could bode well for Nice.
3-3 Adrenal Zerglings are so damn good, though.
Yeah.
I'm like, you might even need like an Archon or two back, and he's like something to really scale super well. These Corruptors, I love the way Joey keeps moving up here. And just is like, oh, hey, I outnumber you. Let's pick off these Void Rays. Battery overcharge did pretty good there. Gotta get out, gotta get out.
Oh, he gets the Vipers. He gets all three of them there. Now he's on the chase, trying to maybe capitalize on this moment. The whole Protoss force is now up here in the top left. It doesn't look like he's left anything down to the bottom right this time. Denies that base again. There is a Spore Crawler army up there as well, which makes it difficult, obviously, to properly push in and get something more done than what he has. But he's on the prowl now, coming back down towards this bottom right-hand location, because likewise, he is unable to get that extra base.
Gonna lose a bunch of spores here as Joey, his army's out of position. Can't defend this right now. It's about coming in with some Zerglings, but yeah, good pushback by Nice. Got a interesting army, right? It's couple carriers, but not many. Mostly Void Rays, Zealots, Archons, High Templar, some Stalkers, 3 Oracles, a couple of Tempests. An oddball army for Nice, but one that he's really just doing well with. And with this income advantage over such a long period, we are seeing Joey just, I keep mentioning the bank, but it's not just the bank, it's that he can't not just remax after now, he can't max out. He's broke, is Joey. He's still doing some nice Ling run buys, but the SimCity, the static defenses have been doing very nicely. I still have faith that Joey can take better fights than Nice. Because to be real, even though Nice loves going to this stage of the game, and a lot of Protoss do right now, I kind of feel a lot of them aren't the most perfect in their late game engagements, which you'd think in this meta, where they're getting so much practice with it, they would be better at it. And I don't know, like I look at the way Nice has taken the big frontal engagements, I'm not that impressed. I like his cannon battery, I like his chipping away at the edges, but in the big fight we saw, Joey outperformed him. So we're going to see if Nice can kind of reverse that in the next engage.
Yeah. I mean, keep talking about the bank. That's, even if the engage doesn't quite go too well for Nice, he's got a little bit more to work with if he does need to recover his numbers. At this point, Joey's struggling to even make the Lings to continue this harass, and he has done well. He's cleaned out the whole natural and half the main. He's gotten rid of a lot of tech with that stuff, but that's really all he's been able to do for a while, and we've started to see Nice actually pick out some of the more valuable units. Every time he kills those Vipers, they're things that Joey can't really remake anymore. Ultras, again, I don't see them living too long, so the Ultras that we see him make now are probably among the last 2 to 3 that we see pop out. So it's getting a little bit sticky for Joey. He has finally established this base, but right on cue, Nice is going to dive in here and see if he can't do something about it.
Spines do move down there just in the nick of time to help support this. Ultra very tanky as well, plus the Zerglings, a few more Ultras and Lings coming on in. And that's going to be a bit of a trade going on. And I mean, the good thing for Joey is he's just taken that top middle base, so it is as fresh can be. But with Nice mining out the bottom middle, it's a problem. I feel like if Joey can crack the bottom, it's okay, but right now, he's actually just getting overwhelmed, and this is Nice using his bank. Yeah, there's not enough Ultras to defend this base. This is such a problem. Joey is just going to fall behind in the mining because he's almost completely dry without this base. He needs to defend that base.
Yeah, he's only got Queens to answer for it. His main force, he hasn't moved. He knows if he did move it, that Nice would start patrolling through that territory and ripping that up as well. And he's already carved a big chunk of those spores out. They're no longer there, and the spore crawler / spine crawler wall that was up here towards the top left to defend that base is also gone, and he doesn't have a whole lot of drones to turn into static D anymore either.
Indeed. New mothership is on the way, as well as 2 more carriers. Nice. Very wealthy at this stage of the game. Joey down to just 33 workers. I think that's enough for how many mineral patches he has, which is almost none. Still mining a little bit of gas, I think, in the top left. If we could just check through his bases. I'd love to see both players mining bases. A couple mineral patches, 2 gases. A couple mineral patches, 2 gases on the top. It's just those top 3 bases. Meanwhile, Nice running out of gas in the bottom right. A few minerals there. Feedbacks do go down on every single Viper. That means they better get consuming energy. Let's see if they can go for another round.
Nice, continuing to juice up a lot. Still got a ton of minerals to work with and a fair amount of gas, and takes a second here to rebuild. Mothership is coming back on the field here in just a moment and keeping those oracles in production as well. That just gives him that extra vision on the Zerg. We'll see if he takes another stab at this base. There's Ultra Queen here now. That's actually going to be hard to kill.
Transfuse is going to add a lot to this comp for sure. Mama could come over though and cause this some problems.
Yeah, I think she's going to have to, because even with the shield batteries there, fair amount of Zergs to deal with, and Nice has the luxury of expanding his shield battery empire here. GogojOey is actually going to move forward here to try and prevent that from coming to fruition, but like you said, Mothership is actually making that difficult.
Static defense battles now. 34 minutes into this EVP, but wait, it's not just that. The Corrupted Viper's here. Minus 1200, 1600, 1600. I think that's number 3 or 4. I don't know which one. I'm sure the Twitch chat is keeping count, but for now, he's going to go for a push in the bottom. Is nice. Brood Lords are there. The Corruptors aren't there to defend. Oh, no. Storms are huge. I mean, nice fungal. Oh, a very good fungal for Joey again.
Does he have
this army down, but he's losing his infestors. And, oh, is he going to catch him? But, dude, watch out. Where's the Parasitic Bomb? There it is. Parasitic Bomb fungal is huge.
Oh, that's exactly what he needed, but it looks like he may not have enough to capitalize on it. Oh, a lot of those Void Rays popped at the end there. That was pretty sick for Joey.
Oh, Joey is so good in these big fights. Cracks the top base and clears that army. And he's still got a base fighting. Joey's just better than Nice at fighting these big fights. And what is Nice doing? He's just remaxing on Void Rays. Void Rays are not a scalable unit against spellcasters. Joey has gas for days. So I look at this and I'm like, I think, honestly, Joey just has better late game than Nice. And this is not something we were saying at the start of the series, but
No.
Joey absolutely changed my mind.
We've been schooled here, for sure. And, well, he's sticking with the Void Ray plan, isn't he? What? Like, he doesn't actually have anything to answer for these Ultras either. So that tech in the main base, I don't know that he saves this. Where are the Void Rays at? He's got to zap those down.
Yeah, a few Void Rays coming down to the bottom. Stalker's really not an effective unit in the late game. I mean, so the Stalker, anytime you're rebuilding Stalkers and Void Rays, it's either to survive or to quickly kill your opponent and capitalize on a lead, right? In this situation, it's like, I mean, he's going back to carriers now, which are obviously a bit more of a general purpose unit. But yeah, the Ultras are going to clear out all the tech. Oh, so nice for Joey, who got creep all over that north side of the map, and just the methodical nature of this Zerg play. He's down 10 army supply right now. Supply looks scary, but it's mostly worker lead for Nice, which doesn't matter. Nice is going to start throwing his workers away so he can add more units. Oh, that's a great move.
Oh, that's pretty huge. Is he actually going to get it? Yes, he is. The Ultras are a little bit late to the party, and he's going to recall those. I do hope he made a spare Cybercore, because he's obviously remade some Stargates, but he lost the core as well. Does not have
no,
one.
he hasn't. I mean, who needs Stalker production, right? It's like, at this point, it's like, well, I've got 4 Stargates on the map. I guess that's all I need. And, ow.
Ouch. A little bit spicy, and he's going to dive in here and try and get some more, maybe? Or is he going to try and get out? All right, yeah, he's going to try and keep those Oracles alive. He did chew through a lot of that gas bank, so we can't just be really gung-ho with those and take the mentality that, oh, you can just remake them, because at this point...
Joey's not rebuilding the hatch. As Joey decided, this game is coming down to the wire resources wide, and I want the extra 300 minerals for 10 minutes from now when that base would have been mined out, so I'm just going to long distance mine it, because that seems absolutely insane. There's like 6,000 minerals on that base. Like,
it's a
saving
Giga Chad
300
move.
now is absolutely insane. This is like, I mean, Joey's being so efficient. Can we bring up just the regular units loss tab again as well, by the way? The one in the top left that just shows the total values. But I don't have to do maths. Thank you. Thank you, Insano, our lovely observer. Yeah, 69,000. So it's actually an advantage for Joey here by 6,000. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And is that mothership number 5 that's about to go down?
Yeah, probably. Where is it?
3 have died. Okay,
There's so much
right.
stuff that's dead. It took me 3. Okay, I swear we saw more than that, but okay, cool. We can't count, guys, but we're casters. We're not here to do math. We've got these Ultras slipping in, trying to kill some more stuff off. Nice. Pushes that away. Okay, he is actually going to retake that hatch, so he's...
A bit of a delay, loses a bunch of money there, but I mean, look at the army supply. Oh my gosh. 160 versus 160. This is gigantic armies. We are not quite at the Fist of Neeb territory, but we're getting close. For those who don't know, the Fist of Neeb is when he was against, was it Rogue maybe, at BlizzCon? And he went to mega late game, and he literally killed off every single one of his probes to have, I don't know if it was 198 or 200 supply. I believe at one point it was 200 supply of only army. And it was like the sickest army you've ever seen, and it just smashed through and annihilated. Anyways, here we go. Parasitic bombs coming down. Got to get those corruptors out of there.
Oh my god, the time warp was actually huge. Mama came in big with the time warp. It actually trapped so many corruptors.
Oh, that might be it. That was the bulk of the army. The Broodlords down the bottom are still, you know, they're wiping out the Protoss base, but if they have nothing to defend them, we'll have to see how much Joey has left, but he's losing this base. He's not mining on the other ones, so not a whole lot to gain by killing those. What does Joey have left? Because he's going to keep pushing into the Protoss territory here as well. The army supply is now advantage. Nice.
Yeah, that's huge. That's so massive. And Joey can't rebuild the economy now. It's down to one worker. So Joey's actually economically toast. And nice, just using the mobility of the army. The 9 queens, as well as all the broodlords, just not being there to help out. And it's so important to have those queens there and those spores potentially as well. Yeah, that's Joey fought so well this whole game, but Nice just took more of the map, mined it out really well, has consistently built static defense everywhere, and I mean, Nice, maybe not as effective at taking engagements as Joey, but in terms of overall macro management of the strategic element of securing more of the map, mining out more of the map, and then striking where his opponent was weak and where he was strong. I mean, this seems like a great switch to just give up the bottom base, kill half the army, and take the top base off GogojOey and then retake it yourself. This is awesome.
Yeah, this is a rough one to have slip through your fingers for GogojOey because, yeah, he's really shown what he's made of in this second game. He's played brilliantly. His engagements have been awesome. But I don't know. It's looking like lights out here in just a little bit, especially if Nice legit gets mining on this base. We know GogojOey has to attack in here. He can't let him have this base too. It's just far too much money to play with.
Building a new forge to invest in cannons here with the minerals, as Nice did lose his one before. The Queen Broodlord push comes again. Microbial Shroud goes down. We saw what happened last time the Protoss engaged into that. Nice thinks twice, then he just decide to go for it. The Corruptors have not come in yet. The Transfuse. Oh my god, these Queens are so tanky.
This is insane. They don't die.
There's no spores though, so the Interceptors aren't dying this time. That's the big difference. The Interceptors are only dying very slowly, and they're rebuilding. I mean, okay, 2 carriers empty on Interceptors, the rest still putting out a lot of DPS.
Oh, he's targeting the Broods.
In the back helping.
Oh, the Broods are starting to go down. He's running out of steam, Big. He's done his best, and what a fight it was, but his Vipers have no energy. The Infestors doing their best here as well, and he does actually get the Nexus, but does he have enough to finish off this army? The Mothership is going to go down, but there's approximately 8 billion Void Rays in the mix still as well.
Oh, that Microbial Shroud keeping those Queens alive for a long time. The base goes down. The carriers, though, they can walk back. And as long as there's enough minerals, they can rebuild that Interceptor count. They can go again elsewhere. I always wonder when a Protoss fights into Microbial Shroud if they, you know, would be wiser to just back off and go elsewhere, but losing a lot of units as well did Joey, and Joey's the one with no income, so he can't really handle those losses.
Ooh, nice Neurals here. That might be a good way to get some extra kills as he tries to close in on these Queens and Infestors, but I think that's perhaps wishful thinking. Too much to handle, and Nice, after a longer than 40-minute game, I think